Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades, direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136, or at strongcreditrewards.com.
Nelson.
Good gravy.
A radio host.
Found myself 2 million short of a millionaire.
Barely understandable.
Gee, Monetti.
We can rebuild him.
Guy's bright as a napkin.
We have the technology.
You gotta work with design, vision, and focus.
Better than he was before.
It's not lonely in my head.
Funnier.
I'm staring at a bowl of spaghetti trying to figure out which 2 ends come together.
More informative.
Characters defined by what you do once you screw up, not if you make mistakes along the way.
And just as sarcastic.
You sausage.
Oh, come on!
Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
KTLK AM 1150. Awesome to be back together and looking at the positive. Today's show is all about staring at what's right, not what's wrong. We're going to open up with Nelson Radio's famous street noise segment, where we take a look at the relevant, accurate information, changes that are impacting our business, real estate, mortgage, our law, and focus on that. And then we're going to focus in on a company, one of the leaders in the mortgage industry, Academy Mortgage, one of the top 20 largest mortgage firms in the country, and paying attention to the customer for a change. It's just not a mission statement. They're actually acting on it. Then we're going to move to Coach's Corner. A little bit of a surprise here, but I can share with you that Coach's Corner this week is going to have somebody with a world championship ring on their finger. And then we're going to finish our broadcast with the Stump the experts, listeners' questions, and then, of course, a focus on Treasures of Africa, our sponsor orphanage down in Moshi, Tanzania, looking for a new child sponsorship with one of the little girls down in Moshi. Opening up Street Noise, this segment brought to you by our legal partner, the law office of Michael L. Fell, one of Orange County's most recognized criminal defense and victim rights attorneys. One area of expertise that Mike Fell specializes in is DUIs. If you've been charged with a DUI, 2 ways you can get a hold of him directly. Text the letters OCDUI to 313131 or call direct 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. I want to open up with the CEO of Greenfield Communications, Mike Powers. And Mike is specializing in the fiber optic space, providing that infrastructure for the new home development community. And Mike, are you with us?
I am, Nelson. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us. You obviously see what's taking place with builder development before there's sticks up in the air. And I just wanted you to give us some insight on, is the development community going crazy? Are they cautious? What's the read from your perspective?
So what we've seen so far is a lot of activity in the developer space. So they are actively buying this land pretty aggressively. And however, the home builder side of things seems to be much more cautious. So the developers, as you know, purchase land, entitle it, typically sell it off to home builders. So the home builders we're working with are telling us that although they're starting some building, they're not aggressively building out all of their lots. Not quite sure if they're expecting another downturn or if they're just being cautious. But there's lots of activity on the development side. In fact, there's not much land to be bought up from the development perspective. There's a lot of developers now seeking that out.
And that strikes me as
side, it's a little slow.
Yeah, it surprises me because you think with the lack of inventory in the general residential real estate market that builders would be throwing sticks in the air as quickly as possible, but that's not the case. Interesting read. Mike, thanks for being with us. Let's go over to Marco Ruffo with Berkshire Hathaway over in the Palisades area. And Marcos, interesting read. We were talking with Mike Power, and he was saying that there's still an air of cautiousness in the builder community. In new construction, in the luxury construction, what are you seeing out in Palisades?
I would have to agree with him full-heartedly. What's happening is, because of the inflation that we're having with prices right now, the tear-down properties, the price points are becoming unattractive to the developers. Because if there's a 30% increase in value in the pricing, as an example, does the developer then able to build the property and see that 30% on the sales side? It doesn't work out that way.
The numbers don't lie, huh?
Yeah, there is a slide there. So what we have to be really cautious as a developer is we have to obtain the property at the right number. And right now, developers are holding back. They're stating, well, this is overinflated, and we're just going to sit back and see what happens.
And the one-off home buyers, they're willing to stretch and perhaps overpay in this market for the property, not concerned with the immediate return on investment. Do you see that happening?
We absolutely see that happening due to the fact of supply and demand. The supply is so low, the demand is so high, that the buyers are paying those outrageous numbers right now, and unfortunately, their equity in their home after some time will not be there.
So make sense of this for me, because you have the developer on one side that doesn't want to spec a new construction and take on that additional acquisition price. You have home buyers that are willing to do that. Why wouldn't the home buyers just simply go into that remodel or new construction environment for those home buyers that are willing to overpay?
Well, in some cases they do, but they're far and few between. You have to understand that a lot of these home buyers that are buying these particular properties, they're also at the same time then hiring contractors to remodel those homes. So they're actually even spending more money. Now, obviously, that does bring up the value of the property, but does it bring it up to where it makes sense for the number that they paid for it? No, it doesn't. Absolutely not.
And I would think in this market where there's such a thirst by the home buying public and a lack of inventory that developers would, like I was sharing with Mike, they'd be willing to throw sticks up in the air as quickly as possible, but that's just not the case. They're not going to get sucked into this exuberance that we see on the home buyer side.
You're absolutely correct. Now, the developers did jump in when the market was starting to turn, and they bought every single thing that they could get their hands on. It's only in the last 6 months that we're seeing this other trend going on where the developers are now, you know what, I've got to stand on the sideline just a little bit here, and I got to really take a look at this. Because you have to understand this. They buy the property, they have to design the property, they have to build the property. That's 12 to 18 months, depending where you are. So they have to look into the future. They have a crystal ball. They have to look into the future and say, wow, in the future, 18 months from now, are we going to be at the same place we are now? And am I going to see that same upside?
And
That's a very hard question to answer.
Yeah, and it totally makes sense why they wouldn't want to shimmy out too far on the end of that limb. Marco, thanks for being with us. That's Marco Ruffo with Berkshire Hathaway out in the Palisades area. You've been listening to Street Noise, presented by our legal partner, the Law Office of Michael L. Fell, one of Orange County's best, most recognized criminal defense attorneys. I text the letters OCDUI to 313131 or call us direct at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or you can always click on NelsonRadio.com. We're looking at what's right, not what's wrong. And we're going to have a special guest coming up in Coach's Corner. Has a couple of world championship rings to his history. We'll be right back.
Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call 877-428-8778. That's 877-428-8778 and enjoy better coverage at lower cost. That's Insurance Incorporated, 877-428-8778 or log on to insuranceinc.com. DOI license 023531.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. I'm excited to showcase Academy Mortgage. This segment's presented by our new show sponsor, Lion Air Museum at John Wayne Airport, paying tribute to the aviators of World War II through the Korean War. To find out more, give us a shout, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or you can click on nelsonradio.com. So I'm really excited with Academy Mortgage, and we have Academy Mortgage's Executive Vice President. Let me tell you a little bit about Academy. They're the #1 independent purchase lender in the United States, top 20 largest mortgage lender in the U.S., and I want to ask you about this, Bill, as I welcome you into the show. They foster a culture of integrity. How you doing, Bill?
Oh, I'm doing great, Nelson. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
So fostering a culture of integrity, especially with the history and the reputation of our mortgage industry. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Oh, Nelson, thanks. I'd love to. Let me explain a little bit my view on that. The industry has definitely suffered with an integrity issue with the general public. And when I think about integrity, I think about really two issues. One is ethics behind that, and the second is competency. The good news is I see the industry improving on its integrity. I think the ethic issue is a lot better within the industry, and a lot of the individuals that were not ethical, really the regulators have done a nice job of helping push out of the business.
Right.
The competency issue, though, certainly still exists. We've had a lot of independent companies grow rather significantly as all the big banks and other companies that sailed in the business 5 years ago. And so there are still companies trying to mature into that size and trip on themselves quite often, and maybe they're not following through real well and doing what they say they're going to do. And so we still have this integrity issue, but I think it's more of a competency-based issue for the industry to work through, and than it is a pure ethic issue.
Yeah, and that's something I think is still at risk. I bellyache all the time about how our industry is it's overcorrected in my eyes, and the regulators have come in with a very regimented process, but our regulators are the government. And the government has as their flagship the efficiencies of the testimony of the post office and DMV. And so I don't know if them as our governing body are going to be the gateway to competency. What do you think?
I definitely agree with those thoughts, Nelson. Ultimately, over time, the free market has to take over on the industry and step to the plate. We are in an environment where the regulatory environment's been pushed so hard. The pendulum's been pushed, and your examples of the regulatory environment of showing not creating a vibrant marketplace is also true. Again, I'm hopeful that over time we'll see that maybe ease down a little bit, and the industry can shoulder its integrity, and the industry can, do what it's really here to do, which is to help people get into homes, achieve their dreams and sustainable home ownership, and also assist them in their financial plans.
Yeah, no, I'm going to circle around to that. I wanted to shift gears here and go to Academy's 4 Ps, the principles, purpose, professionals, and processes, and have you give us some examples, a peek behind the curtain on what that means to Academy Mortgage. So starting off with principles, a testimony of principles. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so Academy, certainly we have certain key principles. One is commitment, ethics, integrity, community, and service. And we have many examples that we can talk to. A simple thing, though, is we do internal recognition programs that people that go at Academy above and beyond, really in serving our customers, and through that process demonstrating a higher level of our principles that I've just articulated.
Certainly internal recognition, so it's stimulating that the workforce to actually step up and be accountable and shine in the environment. I think that makes sense. What about the purpose of paying attention to home buyers' financial wellness? You mentioned that just a minute ago.
Yeah. So with our purpose, for sure, whether it's paying attention to home buyers' financial wellness, which is very important to us, but also the sustainable home ownership, the emotional well-being of home ownership. Also within our purpose is helping our employees identify really their purpose or passion with serving the customer, and that the customer is experiencing that purpose of the individual that they're working with as we're helping serve the customer.
And moving there with a team of professionals, obviously all of corporate America claims that they're a community of professionals. What about Academy?
Absolutely, Nelson. We've the industry has, as the industry's changed dramatically, the demands on getting a home loan or the complexity and the challenges of getting your home mortgage in place has increased significantly. And it's really put the spotlight on professionalism. And so we take a very strong commitment to hiring individuals that are at the highest level of professional commitment of home lending, which includes the highest level of education, product knowledge, serving of the customer to help them make their best decisions in the process.
And that makes sense. I'm with Bill Bent, Executive Vice President of Academy Mortgage, and we're focused on what's right about lending. This segment presented by Nelson Radio's newest show sponsor, Lion Air Museum. To find out more, give us a call direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Before we go and end this segment, I wanted you to share something I found that, particularly interesting about Academy, and that's their vision outside of their own business, their Academy Foundation. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we founded a foundation, and our foundation continues to grow in both its funds and then also the reach out that we do. We have a global vision to it, and so a part of our foundation has been done international humanitarian work, and in Guatemala, and also coming up very soon in Kenya. And but also we do a lot of work in our local communities, and with our 25th anniversary of our company, we actually have a goal to corporately match over $1 million that will be given to our local branches with nonprofit and local community focused endeavors that they're taking on, both raising funds and giving time back to, and just a very important extension of our belief that we have to be here to be a big contributor to both our local communities but also our global community.
And with the service expeditions, you've been on one of these.
I have.
Tell me a little bit about that experience.
Yeah. So remarkable experience, Nelson. So when we took 90 people down to Guatemala in a remote village in the jungles, and people living on dirt floors and shacks and with no water and no schools, and so we raised the funds to get them sustainable water. We also put a school in place for them that's satellite based on the education, and with our 90 people that went down there to help. You could see for most of them, it was a life-changing experience. Most of them have not been many of them not even out of their local community or local states, and haven't seen how over 2/3 of the world lives in this poverty environment. And so the humility, the care, and to realize we're part of something bigger really turned up in a lot of people that worked for Academy that went on it, and it was just very inspirational to be a part of.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it's exciting to see that there's mortgage participants like Academy Mortgage that are paying attention to things that are right like this. Principles, purpose, professional process, and an awareness of what's outside of our backyard in the international community. Bill, I want to thank you for joining us.
Nelson, thanks very much. It's been my pleasure.
That's Bill Bent, Academy Mortgage's Executive Vice President and industry leader in reinstating accountability into our mortgage lending and looking at what's doing right in our industry. This segment brought to you by Nelson Radio's newest sponsor, Lion Air Museum at John Wayne Airport, a tribute to the aviators of World War II. Give us a shout, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or click on nelsonradio.com. We'll be right back.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call 877-428-8778. That's 877-428-8778 and enjoy better coverage at lower costs. That's Insurance Incorporated, 877-428-8778 or log on to insuranceinc.com. DOI license 0235301. Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red, the arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, some way category for a do-over. a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's office of Michael L. Feld. Nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131. Welcome back to Nelson Radio. I'm Nelson, and this segment presented by Best Chauffeured, worry-free and on-time limousine transportation services worldwide. With any limo needs, text the word limo to 313131, and we're asking for your comments and questions throughout today's show. Give me a call direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. This next segment has been actually recorded previously, but it'll be a great segment taking now a look at the state of California and Academy Mortgage.
So we've been looking at Academy Mortgage, and we've taken a look with Bill Bent at the national level. We now have Chris Bates, who's our Pacific Regional Manager, and I wanted to drive to the state level and get his perspective. Welcome to the program, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Nelson.
So let me ask you, you've got your leadership in California, and I wanted to get your perspective on why Academy Mortgage is different.
Well, I get that question asked a lot when I'm meeting with people and recruits and stuff, and it boils down to the integrity of the company and the people that run the company. To me, it's more about the people and what they do and what they stand for than just a company that's out there to do loans and make money.
You're a veteran to our industry, 16 years, I believe. Why did you specifically choose Academy?
I went through a lot of turmoil with companies closing and selling, and when I was looking for the last company to go to, I interviewed with 8 different companies and evaluated them, and when I came across Academy, I had worked for Bill Bent for 7.5 years. I trusted him and believed in what he was doing and the integrity of him. When I met Adam Kessler, who's the president of the company, and visited the home office in Salt Lake City, it just sold me that it's a different type of company. They really believe in what they say, and they do what they say.
And I think that's a key ingredient. For our referral partners, our agents, our builder relationships, they hear all the glittering generalities from the mortgage sector. And specifically with Academy, how do you view they treat referral partners and agents?
Well, that's the thing is we do have a slogan. It's we want to be first choice, but to us, it's more than a slogan. It's a way we do our business. A lot of people want to be number one. But what is number one? Is number one in profits, number one in volume? To us, if we do our business correct, we do our fulfillment correct, we treat our employees with respect, then we will become the first choice, not only for our borrowers, but our referral sources, because we look at our customer not just as a borrower, but as a referral sources, whether it's a builder, a realtor, attorney, whoever's referring business to it is our customer, and we want to treat them with respect and, keep our word to them.
We're with Chris Bates, the Pacific Regional Manager from Academy Mortgage. We're taking a look at the state of California and how Academy operates right here in our backyard. You can reach us direct with any questions at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Chris, with your peers, you're described as absolutely passionate about the mortgage business. Why is that?
Nelson, I got into business in 97 and started doing loans. I specialized in first-time home buyers. And it really gives you satisfaction to help somebody get in their first house. And I think I've just kept that passion since then. So whether I'm helping a new loan officer fulfill their dreams or I'm helping somebody get a loan closed for a borrower, it's in my blood. It's just what I like to do. I love to do it. And it's what I'm all about.
Your background is from the restaurant business. Obviously, you understand customer service. Is there any correlation? Does it translate directly from how you treat your customers in the restaurant business with how you treat our mortgage customers?
Yeah, I don't think there's a difference in the industry. A customer is a customer, and if you're going to treat them well and you're going to make the transaction as easy as possible for them, and the main thing is you keep your word. To me, if I told somebody something, I want to do everything in my power to make sure that I deliver on my promise. And whether it means closing on time or making their life easy where we don't have to go back to them for things over and over and over, and that you're up front and you explain the whole transaction to them so they understand it in their terms, not yours.
It's such a key ingredient in terms of honoring our word. And I wanted to ask your opinion about this comment. The industry is running very clumsy, and it's, I think, being driven more by profit and shareholder returns than it is honoring the customer. It seems to have the kind of efficiencies of LAX on Thanksgiving Day. Academy Mortgage focuses on the purchase business. 79% of Academy's activity is slanted towards purchases. How does that make a difference?
Well, it makes a big difference because on a refi, if you don't close in 30 days and you guarantee the rate for the borrower, it's not a big deal if you go 40 days or 45. But on a purchase business, you have to be on time. You have so many people's lives. You have people moving out of one house into another house or living in a hotel because other borrower or other lenders have not closed on time. So it really puts the pressure for you to develop, to give the fulfillment that you promised. If you have a 30-day close, you got to meet that 30-day close. And it makes everybody focused on what they're doing at all times so that you can't make an excuse.
Chris, I want to thank you for joining us. We're looking at Academy Mortgage at the state level, and what I love best about what you said is there's not any magic elixir, there's not any fancy mechanisms. It's just simply honoring your word and doing what you're saying you're going to do. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Nelson.
That segment with Chris Bates, our Pacific Regional Manager for Academy Mortgage, presented by Best Chauffeured, worry-free and on-time limousine transportation services worldwide. Text the word limo to 313131 or call us from today's show direct at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Turn up the volume. You don't want to miss Coach's Corner coming up with Jim Larrett. This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red, the arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's Office of Michael L. Feld. Nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive saving saving your clients money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call 877-428-8778. That's 877-428-8778 and enjoy better coverage at lower cost. That's Insurance Incorporated, 877-428-8778 or log on to insuranceinc.com.
DOI license number 023531.
Everyone loves a good mystery, but that's hardly the case when you're in a real estate transaction. With Title365.com, the mystery behind title insurance and escrow services has been kicked to the curb. You gain instant access to status and downloadable documents. Want customized real-time order information and documents as they happen 24/7, 365? No problem. And for the first time, Title365 is bringing together leading professionals working on your real estate transaction, so the process is even more transparent and efficient thanks to up-to-the-minute communication. You can even retrieve contact information for leading professionals offering real estate and home-related services right in your own community and learn more about title insurance all in one convenient place. Be sure to ask your local realtor, lender, or escrow officer about Title365 or visit Title365.com. Mystery solved.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
We're in Nelson Radio's Coach's Corner, brought to you by Title365. Their vision and communication brings real estate refinance or purchase transactions status live right to your computer, your iPad, your iPhone. Listener questions, you can always call us direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. And I have a very special guest with us. A couple of championship rings, world championship rings. I don't have one, but I want to introduce the listeners to Jim Laritz. How are you, Jim?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today, Mel?
Good. I'm so glad you could join us and really give us your perspective. Obviously, you've slid on a couple of rings and hoisted the championship banner, but in the face of tragedy, virtually everywhere we turn, how would you coach us on staring on what's right versus staring on what's wrong in our culture today?
I tell you what, it's if you want to look at what's right, is that I would think that the way kids are going after their goals and going after their dreams is a lot more now than I've seen in the past. I think I'm looking at, I live out in Southern California, and I'm looking at some of these young athletes that in different sports that are just so dedicated and so willing to do that extra bit of work. And growing up, I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. I wasn't able to be outside year round and things like that. But watching these kids and at young ages making a decision to pursue sports as either a college scholarship or a possibility of playing professional is really a great thing to watch.
And it's funny, especially in the ranks of baseball, you look at these kids, and I grew up in the sport of tennis, and like you, it was a lot of grit and hard work, but I'm watching these, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds with mental coaches, personal trainers, nutritionists, weightlifting coaches. If that's happening in baseball, I'm certain.
Oh, of course. Nowadays, back when I played, there was not a massage therapist, there was not a psychological trainer, there was not those things that you would have these meetings hours before to get yourself mentally ready. It's a whole different game now. And like you said, from such a young age, you have these strength coaches, you have these the mental side of the game. But I tell you what, one thing I will say is that you look at the athletes nowadays in every sport, and they are so much more, I think, advanced than they were when we played, because it is right now all about starting at a young age thinking that they have the opportunity to be able to, like I said, just go to college, but also possibility to play professional, that they're preparing themselves at such a young age. I think it's, a lot of times people look at it like, well, it's not good to start at such a young age trying to, but I always say, no, it's as long as the kids are doing well in school and school hasn't been put on the back burner, that if they want to excel in sports or they want to excel in something like that keeps them motivated and keeps them going, I think it's a great opportunity for kids.
Great perspective, especially in the line of sight right now where we have just so many things that are pointing to the negative. And in your advice, look to the future. Look at the young boys and girls that are coming up and their dedication and how they're pursuing things. Great advice. Thanks for being with us, Jim.
No, good talking to you, Nelson. Thank you so much.
Okay. That was Jim Laritz with Coach's Corner, and we're moving to our expert contributor, Mark Donovan. We've looked at Academy Mortgage from the national level, the state level, and now we want to drive to the local level right here in Southern California. With questions, you can reach us direct at 888-888-2136 or text my name, Nelson, to 313131 or on the web at nelsonradio.com. Are you with us, Mark?
Yes, Nelson, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for joining us. And you heard us discuss how Academy Mortgage is really leading the train in terms of how our industry should be paying attention, how it's reinstating accountability. I saw one article in the LA Times this week that I wanted to ask your opinion about before we look at Academy, and that's the fact that home prices are rising faster than incomes in Los Angeles, and it's making maybe the possibility or setting the stage for a new housing bubble in some of the major cities. In our Southern California market, do you think we're at risk for that?
I see a little bit of that in pockets, but generally overall, no. I think in pockets, though, you see some of the big companies buying rental pools for a 5-year plan, and so they've inflated some of the prices, and we've got low inventory, which is driving up the prices. But no, I think California, it always flourishes, and we'll be solid. It's not going to do permanent damage.
All right. Good to know. Hey, listen, we've been looking at Academy Mortgage, and there's so many facets of Academy that as I've set the stage for and talking about the organization, how it's reinstating accountability, credibility, especially in a business sector that has been filled with all sorts of rootin' tootin' shootin' cowboys. And so I wanted to ask your opinion, knowing Academy like you do and championing its cause in Southern California. Tell me how Academy is making a difference with lending, let's say, to the first-time home buyer.
Nelson, I think the big thing in modern technology today, a lot of transactions are happening over the internet or over a laptop and over a phone call. And what we pride ourselves in is 71% of our business is purchase, which is contrary to the industry, but it's meeting with the customers face-to-face and really finding out their needs, customizing the loan to meet their pocketbook, how long are they going to be in the property, structuring it so they're happy, because you got to keep people in homes. That's the key.
And what about to the move-up buyer?
The move-up buyer really is interesting in this environment. It is a lot of cash transactions, but the move-up buyer, you got to do the same with them. What's their strategy? Everybody's got a strategy that fits their family, fits their lifestyle, and you have to meet that need. That means you have got to ask questions. You just don't quote an interest rate. You find out their needs, and then you meet those needs.
And I imagine that's got to be the same with the senior borrower, in sharp contrast to our subprime lending that was really abusing the industry from years past, putting seniors into 10-year interest-only loans. The seniors are protected as well in our platform, correct?
So much, yes. Yeah, it's because they've got earnings issues in terms of by spending more than they're earning in later part, finding out, what's their income stream, what they want to do. Reverse mortgages are one option, but you got to really dig into it and see if it fits their needs.
I want to quote you one more comment, and that was from Barbara Boxer. She says, quote, "I'm extremely concerned over reports that banks continue to violate the rights of the homeowner." Do you see this ongoing practice but these ongoing abuses with other mortgage entities where they're still thumping their chest and taking advantage of homeowners, perhaps putting them in greater debt than they should even try and hold on to?
I'm embarrassed to say that does go on. The good news is that 98% of the mortgage professionals out there do the right thing. it's that percent of the community in our industry that are still crossing the line. But Nelson, I got to tell you, there's probably still some of that going on.
Well, one of the platforms that Bill Bent talked about is cleaning that up and bringing into the Academy family those true professionals. Mark Donovan, the Southern California District Manager, thanks for being with us. Appreciate your insights.
Oh, you bet. Have a great evening. Thank you.
You too. We've taken a look at Nelson Radio's newest sponsor, Academy Mortgage. Mark Donovan, Southern California's District Manager. While you're driving, stay with us. We're going to be back with the Stump the Experts, addressing tough questions asked by you. This week's show's been Staring at What's Right, brought to you by Title 365, an innovator and market leader in communicating transaction status. 3 easy ways to connect with Nelson Radio. Click on nelsonradio.com. Text my name, Nelson, to 313131 or give me a call direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. We'll be right back with the Stump. This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red. The arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's Office of Michael L. Feld. Nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients' money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call 877-428-8778. That's 877-428-8778 and enjoy better coverage at lower cost. That's Insurance Incorporated, 877-428-8778 or log on to insuranceinc.com.
DOI license 023531.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
KTLK AM 1150, I'm Nelson, and we're moving into the Stump the Experts. Each week we take listener calls and bring clarity to a very confusing marketplace. I'm here with Phil Giangron, my producer, and we've got some things here that are just flat out confusing to our listeners on what to do. The Stump presented by our newest sponsor, Academy Mortgage, finally creating accountability from your lender to buy or refinance a home. Call me direct. You'll get me direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-2136, or you can text my name, Nelson, to 313131. So, Phil, what do we got going?
Okay, here's the fun. You ready?
Yeah, hit me.
All right. I have a question about the HARP program. Now that we're in the president's second term and elections are behind us, will this kind of homeowners assistance expire and go away?
Well, here's the good news and the bad news. The good news about the HARP program, the Homeowners Assistance Refinance Program, is that the government just enacted a 2-year extension on that. When they released the HARP program in HARP 1 and in what's out now, HARP 2.0, it was well intended, but it just didn't get a lot of the people through the system. In fact, only 20% of the eligible community was able to take advantage of it. So now it's been extended for 2 years. HARP 3.0 is soon to be released, and hopefully it's a more friendly version where people that have property that's underwater can actually get bailed out.
Yeah, that'd be nice, right? Okay. Can resale agents and realtors help me buy a new home?
And this is an interesting thing because so many people think that if they're going into the new development, the new subdivision, that they have to go it alone. They're just dealing with the salespeople from the builder, and it's not the case. You can have representing agents assist you with coming in and introducing you to the builder and guide you in that representation. And one step further, that resale agent can help you with your existing home so that you have a agent that's listing that property, getting that to the finish line, enabling you to purchase the new one.
Okay. I'm going through a divorce and we own several properties. Our situation is amicable but complex. What's the best way to segregate our portfolio?
Yeah, and you hear the storyline all the time. This is an amicable divorce, and I don't know if there really is such a thing, especially when you have assets that are on the line. And it starts off simple enough. You take this, I take that. But now you have mortgages that both have qualified for. Who's responsible for the liability? What happens if payments are suspended and whose credit is getting marred by that? You've got to navigate this with a professional. In fact, beginning on May 1st, we're going to be back at Lion Air Museum with our seminar, our remote broadcast, and our seminar for family law firms. And we're gonna suggest that I'm going to re-ask that question. And I think that my recommendation, you get counsel. You find wise counsel. You don't try and figure this out on your own, especially if it's a complicated financial statement. But I'm going to re-ask that once we get into our family law seminar. You're listening to The Stump. I'm Nelson. We're in Stump the Experts. This segment presented by Academy Mortgage, professional mortgage services providing accountability to our borrowers. Home buyers, homeowners that expect accountability and performance. Academy Mortgage is who you need to connect with. Give us a call direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or text Nelson to 313131. Submit your questions for the Stump the Experts. We'll broadcast those answers for clear direction on what's confusing out in the marketplace. I love the Stump, but I want to shift focus here, as we do with the end of each show, and take a look at Treasures of Africa. This is our sponsor orphanage down in Moshi, Tanzania. The theme of their orphanage is, yes, to provide care and relief down in an area that's probably the epicenter of the AIDS pandemic. But they do more than just provide relief. What they're doing is raising these kids up to be community difference makers. Pilots, engineers, physicians, attorneys, having them raised in a bilingual environment. They speak Swahili and English right out the gate, and they're being trained to come back and re-enter their community and change that environment so that it's actually moving out of this very impoverished environment that we're in. And with that, I wanted to introduce you to Samueli. Samueli is an amazing 7-year-old boy. His mother passed away when he was 4 years old. His father abandoned him when he was a baby. And he and his 6-year-old sister and his 12-year-old aunt, that's a 12-year-old aunt, ended up living with the elderly great-grandmother. And she just couldn't take care of him. So they came to Treasures of Africa. Samueli is now a very active, energetic 7-year-old. Always has a smile on his face. He's an excellent student, is one of the best English speakers in the Treasures of Africa orphanage, and he wants to be a pilot. He wants to fly planes. So I want to ask you, reach out, sponsor this beautiful 7-year-old boy, Samueli, and as well, Treasures of Africa is in the process of building out their compound. They purchased a 5-acre parcel and are going through the process of developing that into a new orphanage that'll house 126 kids, new school, new dispensary for medical concerns, pure drinking water, all the things that these kids need to be raised in a safe environment. $2 million builds out this compound in total. I'm calling out a single sponsor that has the capacity to write that check. What a testimony it would bring for $2 million to change the lives of 126 kids. Powerful, powerful statement. Let's look back at the best of the day. We had Coach's Corner, of course, with Jim Leyritz fielding 2 World Championship rings from Major League Baseball, one with the Yankees, a second with the Padres, and a fantastic advice on where to look for positive things in the world. And special thanks to our expert contributors, Marco Rufo from Berkshire Hathaway and Mike Power, the CEO from Greenfield Communications, commenting on Southern California's real estate market. Academy Mortgage, I love it. The fact that there's a lender that's self-policing and caring about the homeowners first. Great testimony on their organization. And, of course, thanks to our producer, a fantastic member of our Nelson Radio team, Phil Giangron. We want you to call in with your opinions, your questions. They're important to us. Give us a call. You can reach us direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Thanks for listening to Nelson Radio. You can also text my name, Nelson, to 313131 or click on nelsonradio.com. We'll be back next week with another terrific show. Thanks for joining us.